Okay.
Everybody ready? Yeah, we're gonna call the ordinance committee meeting to order. We have two items on our agenda. Our first item is a motion to discuss changes to our subdivision ordinance. You do have copies of these in your binders, your committee binders. So, chapter 18 subdivisions, turn to the second page. Section 18-1, you'll see the changes that we want to make in red. First one is small subdivision, we want to add, or a further subdivision of a lot less than 2 acres from a previously approved minor subdivision, or a subdivision in which any of the lots are less than 1/2 acre. Okay. We have a private subdivision.
Oh, are we gonna discuss them as we go, or?
Yeah, go ahead. You got questions or questions?
Yeah, so Ben, is that just to force them to come back?
But it's to kind of like, limit the abuse of going to mine subdivision, think about it.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly, I mean, that's,
Yeah, under private subdivisions, you'll see, it says, without approval by the commissioner, lots related to a private subdivision may be subject to denial of zoning and permit approval, including but not limited to driveway permits and building permits. The road frontage means for the purposes of minimum requirements for all lots created within a subdivision, the portion of a lot abutting an existing public road, or the portion of a lot abutting a private road right of way that provides both road access and protection for utilities, which may be located within or adjoining the road right of way. Basically, we're defining that, okay, and making it very clear, so we do not have, I'm not sure what we have. Yeah, they have some of these things. Okay, now if you turn the page, you'll see, one and number 2, letter C. It says sketch of location drainage path from the proposed subdivision to the Gulf Earth. We struck out Mexico, we put America. It says the sketch shall include areas illustrating the natural drainage flow of each proposed lot to its respective outlet, such as roadside ditches or other drainage conduits. You go down, there's 2 notes that have been added.
Go down the road.
It's just down there, so they're under notes. Just below letter E, it says the subdivision creates a lot line that could impact the natural drainage of the property being defined. Additional information may be requested prior to approval. It says refer to the remaining section of this chapter for additional subdivision requirements to include drainage, culvert, and lot size requirements. Any questions there?
The lot size requirements are kind of way on the other side of the ordinance, and Lance thought it would be good for them to know here, so that they don't get to the end here and say that's it. You know, that's all we have to do, they have to keep.
In yellow, we're on letter E, we are under 18-2, okay? It says all other subdivisions that do not require the dedication of streets that are 10 lots or less shall obtain an approval letter from the Department of Health and Hospitals and submit with final plat, and the sanitation officer may sign an initial plat, and then the plat will be submitted to the Commissioner's office. These subdivisions do not have to go through the conceptual plan of preliminary plat process.
Okay, question there. So,
That was to,
right, okay, so are we making any changes or not?
Well, I think there's a slight, loophole. And maybe thanks to how we might with my, so, back to we can go back to the first page, small, major, minor, small, major subdivision. So, small says 6 lots, to 26 lots, right? So less than 20, so basically 6 to 25, and the major is 25 and above. But small has a thing noted where it does not require the creation of a new street. So we got one submitted to us where it was as far as lots go, it was between, 6 and 25. And they were creating a new street. So it was around 9 lots. And they were creating a street. And so I was kind of the engineer posed a question to me, is it a major or is it a small? And that seemed to lean toward it's a major because it's creating a street.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's,
But I don't know if you think it's clear enough as it is. We need to add some language, but we need to put like instead of and or in that definition of major.
Yeah, the major definition says, the traffic parcel of land into more than 25 lots, any of which are less than 3 acres, requires the creation of any new street, right of way, and full ownership that is consistent with a thorough, fair plan or other public improvement,
what
that
they,
provides for the dedication, acceptance, and servitude.
The very first page, the definition of major.
okay.
I think or would make it consistent with the exception in small, where it says that does not include if it has.
Yeah. Do you think the definition of major says and, that's it, or? So it's either more than 25 lots or it creates a new street.
Yeah, at the 25, well, we got a big city.
I think that's somewhere else in there, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. One thing I want to bring up, those place subdivisions that we got. We got big on this side of the house. The big deal, they find it rain, the whole city is running, 20 miles. It's supposed to go out that northwest corner. I mean, probably, in the city, because it needs to have it left behind it, and that water will come to this house. But the full one, if you can look, in the water space, natural water, instead of just bombing through the south. It's good to get the road in about 15, 20 minutes to do that.
So you're saying like when they submit their drainage proposal for a subdivision, land outside the subdivision should drain through the subdivision,
Right. And two good methods back there.
or parallel now.
Right.
Yeah, they're supposed to do a drainage study.
Right.
So we built some of them open face, and built the road going down, and the road built, and it's still.
That was probably before all this started.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So I think that's taken care of with the drainage. Well, but the drainage study should show them, they may not need it in, but they need the drainage ditch at the back of that property. Cause that would have stopped too. Yeah, so I think that the drainage impact study,
We ain't got that on.
what the drainage impact.
That's right. It needs to be put on. 200 acres, under 20 miles.
But I mean, that drainage impact study should show that they need something back there, whether it's a a ditch or a levee or what. I mean,
We'll take it mandatory when I want it to keep that water off our road.
We require a drainage impact analysis for all of the subdivisions.
and that's where Bennington, you know, or Lane, or
Yeah,
whoever.
You keep
It
that
says
in mind.
it's required, and it's already in our ordinance. It's required for all.
The only issue is if it's small, it's not, small or minor, it doesn't require detailed.
Well, highlighted drainage plan for small subdivisions, it's the very next thing, after that, the initial about the 10 lots, term, the next, highlighted. And that was just to point out that small subdivisions do indeed have a little bit more requirements for drainage than a minor. It wasn't just a more of a fee, they actually have to look at the drainage a little bit more. And that's why I think it's important that, if some people try to subdivide minor over and over again, or they get a small lot, maybe be
But even if
considered.
it's small, so we gotta have a drain on the top of it.
Well, they do have drainage requirements as far as the drainage around each lot, but what you're saying is for a bigger drainage study, we only require that for bigger subdivisions, but that's up to you guys if you wanna add
That's
it.
what, on small one, we had no order. We had to get ready back there to keep the field work.
No, I guess the only question would be, do you wanna make every person who's trying to get a small and minor subdivision to get a drainage impact study? What does that entail? What's the cost of that? That's just something.
I think down the road, you could be a minute.
I think it'd be good. It's just if they're gonna wanna do it, if they're subdividing to,
Yeah, I think the cost is gonna be prohibitive on that, I might be wrong, I think it's probably thousands of dollars.
Well, like I said, if you look on
They're
this page,
small.
if you look on this page, the small, I think is appropriately kind of in between, not the full impact analysis, but it does make them kind of look at the culvert sizes, and so that basically they're gonna put lots, they're gonna put culverts along the streets or driveways, and then make sure that that's gonna, basically the roadside ditch is gonna handle it.
and one suggestion I would have for these ordinances is to put in something for the in-between is to say that upon review of the plat for any of the subdivisions, the parish may request additional information about drainage and reserves the right to
Yeah, it's something I have to know.
Okay, and reserves the right to deny subdivision based on, yeah.
It doesn't say that we reserve the right to deny, we could add that, but it says, talk about lot lines that impact natural drainage, the property can provide additional information or be requested prior to approval.
So on that section you read off, Corey, on the highlighted stuff in the deeds, if that's not,
If nothing's changed there,
Well,
Okay, we
my
just,
only question is on that,
we
this,
just highlighted it so we can look at it.
yeah, the sanitation officer may sign an initial the plat. Are you good with that? Rather than having them do a formal letter each time?
they're in the plot now.
They don't, no?
Now, I haven't been involved in a major one, maybe they do a letter down, but it says 10 or less,
Yeah,
so I guess they do a letter for.
as long as it's verified that they, you know, sanitation looked at it.
Like, then just talk about the drainage plan for small subdivisions. We put a highlight there, and then underneath that one, under number 4, bullet size, that number changed to 18 instead of 15.
Yeah, the words are 18, but the numbers say 30.
Yeah. Huh? It's got 4 pages from the previous pages.
I think the 15 was just left.
Page number.
Yeah.
You'll see it highlighted.
Yeah. I tell y'all page numbers, but I don't have them. I'll have to put y'all some next time. Okay.
No, yeah.
I have a question about that. 15 to 18,
Well, the word said 18, but the parentheses said 15.
but, well, that's in the, ordinance. But there's only so much water, $9 grand, you know, nothing really, with all that. At 18, that's how that's going to the, okay, I'm saying, but if you said 15 would probably good enough for that area. Now, road getting over, we need to.
So,
But this is only in the subdivision.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a reference, another place in the ordinance that talks about I think the road administrator has authority to, offer that side, something, with that language.
Yeah, like if it's a culvert, like for an agricultural driveway or like a regular person's residence, yeah, this is for subdivision.
Yeah, so this is,
But I hear what you're saying, to make sure there's some discretion to decide.
Right,
Exactly.
But,
You are right there, yeah, there's a.
but in this instance,
it's just.
yeah, because, yeah, I mean, to me, we wanna make that contractor dig us a ditch that be sufficient for an 18-inch culvert.
For the planning, yeah.
Exactly, right.
That's what we, for it, yeah, that was.
Hey, no, ask any question you want to ask, okay? Yeah, okay. After that page, skip 3 pages, and go to the top of the page that says section 18-17. It says lots and lot specifications. You'll see, B and C. Under B, it says the community sewers provided. Lot size shall be a minimum of 12,000 square feet with a minimum of 50 feet of road frontage. If community sewer is not provided, lot size shall be a minimum of 12,000 square feet with a minimum of 60 feet of road frontage.
These are already in the ordinance, they were kind of like hidden, and that's kind of why we talked about that note in the beginning, like referred to the other section.
And you're just correcting the spelling.
Yeah, that 1,000 is going to tell, I'm sure there's more that didn't.
Then that's all that we have in
Other than changing the and to or in the major subdivision.
Yeah. Thank you, Ian, for order.
You need a motion for that?
Huh?
I said, do we need a motion for that?
Well, he just, well, yes, the and or, and the major subdivision definition. And then Tim just made a motion to approve all the changes, including that one.
That thing word, that sort of thing, that on the, we highlight these.
That's not
So,
changing where
I
it
know that. Revive May AB, registered,
Where you at?
Number 1 or 2?
number 2, 18-2. 18-2.
Yes,
It says designer May AB.
It's highlighted yellow.
yes, the designer may be. Instead of-
maybe.
But okay,
That's
so,
what he says, yeah.
since you're going back to that section, so it's section A2, and then you've got 1A. Oh, okay, now it makes sense. Sorry, I have to go back and look. The B didn't, the B didn't show, but I was looking at the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there was a B. Yeah,
Just another typo,
yeah. Yeah, on that, there's nothing wrong with what I thought. I wasn't reading it right, so I'm good. Yeah, yeah, maybe the A and the B are in the wrong place.
Yeah, and then on the major subdivision, you have that other changes too, right? So y'all, Tim makes motion to approve all of these, that we talked about. Do you have a second? Steve second. All in favor? Motion passed. Well, our second item on our agenda is to discuss and take action on our adjudicated properties ordinance. If you look in your binder, our current ordinance is section 5.5-13, procedural code for adjudicated property, declared to be certain. Okay, it's very short. If you turn the page, we would like to replace that section with the document right behind it. That is new, okay, and outlines everything that we want it to outline. So what we have basically done is created a new adjudicated property ordinance to replace what we currently have. Okay?
The process is better.
Yes, it does. So y'all want to go through that, you'll see it discusses administration, the pre-auction process, and very detailed. It discusses bidding and public sale in detail. It discusses lot and school program, donation of property, severability, and so forth. If y'all would like, I'll let the end of the highlights of it for you. And then if y'all have any questions, we'll be happy to answer.
And this is the form sent by the company that will be engaging to handle these. The major change is that it includes the new laws regarding, the properties being tax lien certificates rather than adjudicated properties. So there's more of a foreclosure process instead of the previous process that we undergo. We wouldn't be involved in that foreclosure process. That's for the purchaser. But what this does is it gives us the ability to sell it according to the new laws. As they come up.
We review the minutes.
Yes, sir.
I think that new act was established in 2024.
It was effective this year, 26, Jan 1st, 26.
Okay.
Brand new. That's why there was no summaries or other that we could find online. Pretty much brand new. But apparently they've done this for Evangeline Parish because the form they sent us that the auction will take place in their flats.
Yeah, those draft, we don't say that.
No, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I'm saying this is the same thing that other territories.
So not that numbers matter, but one. Page 24 of the paragraph right now.
Look, I mean, to me, the whole goal here has always been to get this stuff back to where somebody is using it and paying taxes on it. Yeah.
And our secondary concern is ensuring that we comply with the notice requirements and, you know, the procedural requirements, which having a management company do it kind of satisfies that on our end. So that's good. Somebody's taking responsibility for making sure all the boxes are filled.
We probably had 8 people that are referred to already.
And we're being indemnified that if something's wrong, it's on them, not on us, right?
For the stuff that they handle, that we have, I'm not sure.
There's an agreement there. Yeah, we get.
Okay, yeah, if I were you, then I'm sure.
There's a identification clause in the sale too, they said in the council that, that will sell. We just got started with that, so we first, and it shows on the plan.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned about it. I mean, I reviewed it, it's gonna be in accordance with everything that was passed. As far as the minimum bid and the cost of the marriage, I wouldn't be that concerned. We're trying to move the property, so if that's the normal course of proceeding, you know, they're gonna, the way it says that there's no minimum bid, but they will at least secure the cost of what we're owed, unless circumstances dictate otherwise, which we would decide. So we'll be made whole on each one of the property. I think that just gives them the ability to go beneath the, starting out at 2/3 or whatever, the normal threshold.
In other words, y'all, we're gonna get what we're owed for property. We won't have lost.
And this is just gonna be in the rural area, or are they gonna do it in the municipalities as well?
Just don't think, the police crew property, I think there's some areas where the police crew have interest in property that's within the city. And I'm assuming they would do, I mean, that's correct, I'm assuming they would do the process to offload the police crew interest in the property. But they would have to go to that entity to get the bank where the property.
Yeah, to me, you know, for the cities and the towns, these guys need to contact those officials and work an agreement with them, because they're not gonna sell our share of a lot in town.
And now, it's not even a share anymore, some of the old properties will still be adjudicated from previous, but now it's just a lien, so Redwood owns, that's all we're selling is the lien against the property. And then they can wait and enforce that lien by foreclosing the property to get the money back. But we'll be selling the lien we have against the property for the taxes owed. So, you know, then that kind of keeps it keeps it separate, they can sell that without worrying about who owns what interest, where you conveying, you're not conveying any interest in the property now.
Did we reach out to the other houses and make them aware?
Oh.
Like, we're keeping, we're keeping the mineral rights,
If that's what they normally do, I'm not too concerned about it.
that's what it shows, yeah.
And that's one of those issues where if you have a consultant or a management company come in that does it all the time, and it's a minor issue like that, I'm not gonna raise red flags over something I don't understand, it does not matter to us anyway. Again, we'll be conveying a lien that we have against the property, so amount of money we're owed. So as far as the mineral interest is concerned, I don't think the carrot has.
Might not be applicable.
Yeah, not on the applicable. We wouldn't have any interest in mineral.
Does anybody want to see it?
No, this,
The race is the one that's kind of, in the place of the region.
And
and so the agreement we have with management companies is, I think, for any reason, whether we could call at any time. And I think this still gives the sure full authority to we're gonna sell. And there might be property that maybe interest to another entity, government or whatever, that the police are gonna want to contact that fire or whatever, to say, hey, property.
so far, if it's one of our entities, it's still our, you know, so.
If it could be beneficial to them, we definitely want to be aware of that and make that decision.
You're talking about kind of like if it's the lot next door.
Well, I mean, that might be a good location for the fire station.
Yeah,
I don't know.
okay.
That's, the fourth maybe, yeah, so they, first one, they're down to about 30 guys. We got to go home, let them get it out and get. It's fine, they don't get all that. If you even hit the ground. You got people really like it.
They have lot next door provisions in that.
Yeah. That makes it nice, cause that, generally,
Yeah, so Tim made a motion, that this become company, second, or adjudicate company, Steve second. All in favor? Motion passes. That is the only two items that we have on our agenda. Is there anything else that needs to come before the ordinance committee? Not out, we're gonna motion to adjourn.
some of,
All in favor?
Let's go to the top of the-